Season 1 of Alice in Borderland is set in Tokyo and introduces a trio of down-on-their-luck friends, Arisu, Chōta, and Karube. After making a scene in Shibuya Crossing, the friends run from the cops and hide in a bathroom stall. Upon their exit, they discover that the entire city is now empty, and they are forced to compete in a series of life-or-death games, with the winners receiving a playing card. Refusing to play means certain death. Their first game, which they play with two strangers, is called Dead or Alive, and requires them to choose between two doors. One leads to death, the other to safety. After one of the strangers is killed for choosing the wrong door, Arisu utilizes his knowledge of games and puzzles, and his expertise in geometry to navigate his allies through the series of doors to safety, although Chōta is badly burned in the process. Upon their completion of the game, Arisu, Chōta, and Karube are given game visas. The surviving stranger Shibuki explains that when your visa expires, you are killed. The only way to add time to your visa is to play more of the deadly games. As Shibuki tends to the injured Chōta, Arisu and Karube head to a nearby apartment building to play another game to extend their visas. Working alongside new allies Usagi, Aguni, and Chishiya, the group must play a deadly game of tag, where two armed murderers attempt to chase them down as the team tries to find a hidden button that will stop the building from exploding. Upon winning the game, Arisu is shocked to see that the murderers are executed for failing to kill the other players. Karube then finds a radio telling him to go to the beach. Before he and his friends can obey this command, they need to extend the visas of Chōta and Shibuki, and so Arisu, Karube, Chōta, and Shibuki enter a game of hide and seek. Unfortunately, after starting the game, they discover that there can only be one winner. Knowing Arisu has the best chance of them all to survive the games, Chōta, Karube, and Shibuki sacrifice themselves to allow him to win. Following his victory in hide-and-seek, Arisu is found by Usagi, who agrees to help him find the beach. The two then discover that the beach is actually a group of fellow players led by a man named Hatter. Hatter believes that the key to escaping the city is to collect all of the cards that the games are named after. Currently, there is only one card left for Hatter to collect, the Ten of Hearts. When Hatter goes to play a game to extend his visa, he is brought back dead by his men, who claim he was killed during the game. Aguni is named the new leader of the beach and given the Hatter's nearly complete deck of cards. Chishiya convinces Arisu to steal the deck of cards, but he is double-crossed, caught, and tied up, and forced to wait for his visa to expire. Luckily for Arisu, the beach is then turned into the arena for a game called the Witch Hunt, with the Ten of Hearts card as the prize. To win the game, the players must figure out who amongst them is the killer, and throw that person into a bonfire before time runs out. The militant Aguni leads a team to throw everyone into the fire to ensure their victory. Usagi helps free Arisu from his binds, and the two work together with a team of other players to evade Aguni's men and find the real witch. Arisu and a fellow player named Anne discover that the witch was actually the game's first victim, Momoka, who had sacrificed herself instead of participating in the furthering of violence and death. Arisu pleads with Aguni to stop the senseless killing and to throw Momoka's body into the fire. When Aguni's ally Niragi continues slaughtering the other players, Aguni sacrifices himself to kill them both. Arisu and his allies then throw Momoka's body in the fire and win the game. Following the Witch Hunt game, Chishiya takes the Ten of Hearts card, completing his deck. Arisu and Usagi then find Momoka's phone and discover that she was a dealer, a player who helps organize the games to extend their own visas. Videos on the phone also reveal an underground layer filled with game masters, who orchestrate the games and watch as the players fight for their survival. Arisu, Usagi, Chishiya, and Chishiya's friend Quina then head to the underground layer, where they discover that all of the game masters have been killed. As the season comes to a close, the group receives a message from a mysterious woman named Mira, who informs them that they still need to collect face cards to complete their deck, and that a new set of games is about to begin. You know, we've all been in some sort of meeting or class or seminar and struggled with taking notes on what's important while also being an engaged listener. And that's why I'm so excited about this video sponsor PLAUD, because this device right here is a game changer. Just set this thing to record and it automatically tells you who's speaking, cuts out the fluff, and instantly creates meeting notes, study guides, and to-do lists with 20+ ready-to-use templates. My wife is a behavioral analyst that works with kids, so she's constantly running around and observing data, which can make it pretty difficult to take accurate notes. While wearing the PLAUD note pen, she can just recite her notes out loud and have AI type out detailed summaries of all of the data that she observed. If you're in a meeting with various associates or clients and don't want to miss a single detail for your job, PLAUD has you covered. And then PLAUD's Ask AI feature takes your productivity and workflow to the next level. It uses your meeting history to help draft emails, pull up reports, delegate tasks to your teams, all by simply asking PLAUD. In fact, it's estimated that the average user will save up to 260 hours of work per year thanks to PLAUD. The PLAUD Note is as thin as a credit card and can easily attach to the back of your phone, while the PLAUD Note pin can be worn as a necklace, wristband clip, or pin. There's over 20 hours of continuous recording, and PLAUD connects directly to an app on your phone or their website, where you can access all of your notes and transcriptions to export them, email them, or even print them out. PLAUD uses AWS cloud storage and meets SOC 2 and HIPAA standards, the industry's most secure compliance requirements, ensuring the safest storage and transmission of your data. So buy your PLAUD device today using my link in the description. PLAUD is the world's best-selling AI note device, so make sure to buy yours before they sell out. Thanks again to PLAUD for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the recap. In Season 2 of Alice in Borderland, a game of survival begins that spans the entire city, forcing all of the players to avoid being killed by the gun-wielding King of Spades to collect his face card. Arisu, Usagi, Kuina, and Chishiya are rescued by allies from the beach, Tata and Ann, though in the chaotic gunfight, Chishiya and Ann both become separated from the others. While hiding out together, Arisu and Usagi bond over their pasts, with Arisu wanting nothing more than to return to his home, while Usagi is grieving her father's death and never wants to go back to the real world. Arisu realizes that the only way for him and his allies to remain safe from the bloodthirsty King of Spades is to enter another game. And so, Arisu, Usagi, Kuina, and Tata enter the King of Clubs game, known as Osmosis, where they form a team of 5 with the shockingly alive and well villain Niragi. In the game, players start out with 10,000 points to split amongst their team, and can earn more points by tagging players from the opposing team and stealing points from them if they have a lower point total. The King of Clubs' real name is Kyuma, and his team quickly earns a dominating lead, leaving Arisu and his allies feeling hopeless. As the game clock nears its end, Arisu meets with Kyuma to accept defeat. Kyuma explains that he and his team are all citizens, previous game winners that chose to remain in the Borderlands instead of returning to their original homes. As the pair amicably shake hands, Arisu reveals that Tata sacrificed his own hand to give Arisu his points, giving him the advantage over the unsuspecting Kyuma to steal his points and secure his team a last-second victory. In the end, Kyuma's team accepts their deaths, while Tata tragically succumbs to his injuries, and Arisu, Usagi, and Kuina abandon the villainous Niragi. Following the game, Arisu begins to emotionally spiral over Kyuma's revelation, fearing that even if he and his friends successfully win all of the cards, they will simply become citizens, forever trapped in the Borderlands. As Arisu commiserates with Usagi, Kuina chooses to hold on to hope and sets off on her own to complete the face card games and find Chishiya and Ann. Kuina wins the Jack of Spades game by herself, and while playing the Queen of Hearts game, she is reunited with Ann and the pair win together. Meanwhile, Chishiya has been captured and taken to a prison, where he is forced to take part in a game known as solitary confinement against his fellow inmates, in the hopes of winning the Jack of Hearts card. Each player must guess which card has been assigned to them on the back of their necks. Since they can't see their own card, they are forced to rely on the honesty of their fellow players. If you guess wrong, you are executed, and the object of the game is to eliminate whoever is assigned the Jack of Hearts. Chishiya forms an alliance to trick the Jack of Hearts and eliminate him, earning his face card and freedom from the prison. Chishiya next competes in a balanced scale game where he wins the King of Diamonds card. To extend their visas, Arisu, Usagi, and the young child Chōta enter the Queen of Spades game, known as Checkmate. The game consists of 2 teams, and when a player is tagged by an opposing player, they join the opposing team. Whichever team has the most players at the end of the game wins. The Queen of Spades and her team of citizen players quickly dominate, leading to only Arisu, Usagi, and Chōta remaining on their team. The other players accept their fate, choosing to stay loyal to the Queen of Spades and remain beside her in the Borderlands forever instead of risking playing other deadly games. But Arisu and Usagi Usagi give an inspiring speech, vowing to help them all return to the real world. And so they join Arisu's team, helping them win the game and defeat the Queen of Spades to earn her face card. As Arisu and Usagi celebrate their victory, they share a kiss. As the season comes to a close, all of the face card games have been won, aside from the final two, the Queen of Hearts and the King of Spades. Arisu happily reunites with all of his allies, including Aguni, who shockingly survived the fire at the beach and repents for his callous actions during the witch hunt game. But this reunion is interrupted by the King of Spades, who arrives to slaughter them all. With the help of his allies Aguni, Usagi, Chishiya, and Anquina, Arisu is able to finally kill the King of Spades once and for all. With all of their other friends too injured to continue, Arisu and Usagi enter the final game by themselves. There they must play croquet against the Queen of Hearts, revealed to be the mysterious and all-knowing Mira. As Arisu plays croquet, Mira manipulates him into believing that the games are all a figment of his imagination, and that he is truly a patient in a psychiatric hospital. But as Arisu accepts this reality as truth, he is stopped by Usagi, who offers to sacrifice herself to prove that she and her relationship with Arisu in the Borderlands is all real. Inspired by Arisu and Usagi's love for each other, Mira reveals that this was all a ruse to manipulate Arisu into quitting the games. And so Mira accepts defeat and her own death, allowing Arisu and Usagi to complete the final game. With all of the face cards collected, Arisu and his friends are permitted to finally leave the Borderlands and return to their original homes. In the end, Arisu and his friends wake up in the hospital in the real world, with no memories of their time in the Borderlands. They learn that they are all survivors who briefly died during a meteor strike in Tokyo, having been caught between the borders of life and death, while everyone who died in the games actually died in the blast. Arisu and Usagi meet in the hospital, and though they have no memory of their shared history in the Borderlands, they do feel a strange innate connection to one another. But as they walk away together, they don't notice a Joker card on a nearby table, signifying that their adventures in the Borderlands might not actually be over.